Episode 4, The Queen's Shadows. Power always casts a shadow, and for Queen Elizabeth I, those shadows often came with daggers. As her empire grew, so too did the number of people who wanted to see her fall. Behind the glittering facade of her court lay a world of spies, secret letters, and conspiracies so treacherous they could have toppled her throne overnight. Elizabeth ruled with unmatched intelligence, but she was no stranger to fear. Every day she awoke knowing that her crown, her very life, depended on the loyalty of those around her. And loyalty in Tudor England was fragile. Her cousin Mary, Queen of Scots, was the most dangerous of all her threats. Mary was everything Elizabeth was not. Openly Catholic, married, and viewed by many as the rightful heir to the English throne. Exiled from her own kingdom, Mary sought refuge in England, Elizabeth's England. At first, Elizabeth took her in with caution, hoping diplomacy might contain her. But over the years, Mary became the rallying symbol for every plot, every rebellion, every whisper of discontent. The most infamous was the Babington Plot, a conspiracy to assassinate Elizabeth and place Mary on the throne. The web was wide, the danger real. But Elizabeth had an unseen advantage. Her spy master, Sir Francis Walsingham, one of the most brilliant intelligence minds of his age. Through coded letters, hidden messages, and double agents, Walsingham uncovered the truth. Mary had endorsed the plot. The evidence was undeniable. And now the Queen faced a choice no ruler should ever have to make, one that would haunt her until her dying breath. After months of hesitation, Elizabeth signed Mary's death warrant. On February 8, 1587, Mary, Queen of Scots, was executed. The act sent shockwaves across Europe. It was a message that Elizabeth would protect her realm at any cost, but it also broke something inside her. She later claimed the warrant had been signed in sorrow, not in anger. Those close to her said she locked herself away for days, grieving a woman who was both her cousin and her greatest rival. Power had demanded blood, and Elizabeth paid the price in guilt. But the storms didn't stop there. The greatest threat came in 1588, the Spanish Armada. King Philip II of Spain, enraged by Mary's death and Elizabeth's Protestant defiance, sent a fleet of over 130 warships to invade England. The odds were staggering. England's navy was smaller, its resources limited. But Elizabeth refused to bend. She went to Tilbury to face her soldiers, dressed in silver armor, riding a white horse. "I know I have the body of a weak and feeble woman," she declared, "but I have the heart and stomach of a king, and of a king of England, too." Her words lit a fire in her troops. The battle that followed became legend. Through a combination of daring tactics, favorable winds, and English ingenuity, the Armada was destroyed. The victory was not merely military, it was symbolic. It told the world that Elizabeth's England could not be conquered, that her leadership had transformed a fragile nation into a formidable power. Yet within the triumph, new shadows gathered. Her once trusted advisors aged, and one by one, they left her side. Sir Francis Walsingham died, leaving behind a void in her intelligence network. Robert Dudley, her closest companion and perhaps the great love of her life, passed away suddenly, leaving her devastated. Court intrigues grew crueler as younger courtiers sought favor in a world ruled by an aging queen. Among them was the daring and impulsive Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex. At first, Elizabeth saw in him a reflection of Dudley's charm and ambition. But Essex's arrogance became his undoing. He defied her orders, attempted rebellion, and paid with his life. In his execution, Elizabeth saw the ultimate betrayal, not just of a subject, but of the affection she had once freely given. After his death, she was said to wander the palace, murmuring, "I killed him, I killed him." The woman who had defied popes and kings now faced her own mortality, surrounded by ghosts of those who had once stood beside her. The lesson here is piercingly clear. Leadership is not only about strength, it's about bearing the emotional cost of power. The higher you climb, the lonelier it becomes. Elizabeth's greatness did not lie in her victories alone, but in her endurance through loss, guilt, and endless testing. She led with courage even when it broke her heart. And as her reign entered its twilight, one final question lingered. When all the enemies were defeated and the crown secured, what remained of the woman beneath the crown? If you thought that was moving, wait until you see how Elizabeth faced her final chapter, with dignity, wisdom, and the awareness that even queens must one day say goodbye.